There is a certain quiet strength in a woman who chooses to live with intention. Her intelligence does not shout or seek validation. It is expressed in the small decisions she makes every day, in the way she responds to life without haste or fear. To understand the daily habits of a highly intelligent woman is to recognize that brilliance is not something she displays for approval. It is something she cultivates patiently, like a garden tended in all seasons. Such a woman rises each day with a clear purpose. She does not allow the opinions of others to become the measure of her worth. Instead, she listens to the deeper voice within her that knows where she is going and why. Her mornings are not spent in distraction, but in practices that nourish her mind and spirit. She reads to expand her understanding. She reflects to refine her perspective. Throughout her day, she is mindful of her words. She understands that speech has the power to build or to wound, and so she speaks with precision and care. She does not gossip because she knows that diminishing others does not elevate her. She chooses silence over noise and substance over appearance. When faced with challenges, she does not panic or complain. She studies the situation patiently, looking for the lesson within it. Her composure is not an act, but the result of many moments when she chose discipline over impulse. Above all, she practices gratitude. No matter how much she achieves, she does not forget the simple blessings of being alive, of having a mind that can learn and a heart that can love. These are the daily habits that shape her intelligence into wisdom, and her wisdom into a life of quiet, purposeful strength. She begins each day with intention and self-reflection rather than distraction. This is not an accident or a temporary phase. It is the product of many deliberate choices repeated over time. Heng often reminds us that the first hour of the day shapes the quality of all the hours that follow. A highly intelligent woman understands this deeply. She does not allow herself to wake and be pulled immediately into the noise of other people's expectations. She does not grab her phone as if the outside world must dictate her state of mind. Instead, she protects these early moments as sacred space. She rises quietly and sits with herself before anything else. Perhaps she closes her eyes and takes slow breaths, listening to the rhythm of her thoughts. She does not judge what appears. If there is worry, she observes it. If there is fatigue, she accepts it. By seeing these thoughts clearly, she prevents them from controlling her. This simple act of observation creates space between stimulus and response, and in that space, intelligence has room to grow. Heng teaches that when the mind is allowed to settle, the deeper intentions of the heart can be heard. A highly intelligent woman uses this stillness to reconnect with her purpose. She asks herself gently, what is truly important today? What do I wish to embody? What would it look like to move through this day without betraying my values? These questions are not meant to produce quick answers, but to guide her attention back to what matters. While others rush to be seen or to accumulate achievements, she understands that being grounded is a more valuable success. She recognizes that her energy is limited and must be invested wisely, so she does not squander it on distractions or urgency that has no purpose. Even before she steps into her responsibilities, she has already chosen the mindset she will carry. This early discipline is the quiet foundation of her strength. It is why she seems composed when others are reactive. It is why she can listen to criticism without losing her balance. Every morning, she reinforces the truth that she is responsible for her inner state. No one else is given that power. Heng often says that the person who begins each day by returning to themselves cannot be easily moved by circumstances. This woman proves that wisdom is not a sudden gift but a daily practice. She treats her thoughts with respect, but not with blind obedience. She knows that clarity does not come from reacting to every impulse, but from observing and choosing with intention. Before the day has a chance to pull her in many directions, she anchors herself in this reflection. She remembers that her life is shaped by countless small moments of decision, and she vows not to abandon herself in any of them. This is why her presence feels steady and why her actions carry a quiet power. She has learned that a life of purpose begins not with grand declarations, but with the simple habit of meeting each morning with awareness, curiosity, and the courage to listen before she moves. A highly intelligent woman is not simply one who holds knowledge. She is one who actively seeks to deepen it through consistent learning and reflection. While intelligence is often misunderstood as something fixed, an inherited gift, true intelligence, as Heng teaches, is something you cultivate with discipline and care. It is not about knowing more than others. It is about understanding yourself more deeply and approaching life with humble curiosity. This woman reads not to impress, but to explore. She understands that every page she turns is not just a window into the world, but a mirror into her own mind. Her reading is intentional. She does not consume information mindlessly. Rather, she chooses materials that challenge her to think differently, to see more clearly, and to question her assumptions. Her bookshelf reflects not just what she has learned, but what she continues to seek. But her growth does not come from reading alone. She reflects on what she reads. After closing a book, she does not rush to the next. She allows the words to settle within her. She observes how they align, or conflict, with her current understanding. And in doing so, she transforms knowledge into wisdom. This is the difference between storing facts and growing insight. Heng often reminds us that learning without reflection is like eating without digesting. There may be volume, but no nourishment. Each day, she takes time to contemplate. She might journal her thoughts or walk quietly, letting her mind breathe. She notices what triggers her emotions and studies them with care, not with judgment. When something disturbs her peace, she does not dismiss it. She asks, "What part of me has been touched by this? What can I learn about myself here?" This habit of inner inquiry becomes her compass. It guides her choices, her boundaries, and even her relationships. She is not led by surface impressions or emotional waves. She steps back, she observes, and she decides. This ability to pause and reflect gives her great strength. While others are swept away by external forces, she remains rooted in understanding. Heng teaches that the mind is like a garden. It will grow weeds if left unattended. A highly intelligent woman tends to her mind daily. She recognizes harmful thoughts, and rather than feeding them, she questions them. She creates space for silence, for stillness, because she knows that insight arises not in noise but in quiet. Her learning is not confined to books or structured knowledge. She learns from people, from failure, from her own reactions. She watches how people speak and what they avoid saying. She listens not just to words but to intention. Her intelligence is both mental and emotional. She senses what is not obvious. What makes her different is not how much she knows, but how open she is to discovering what she does not know. She is a student of life in the truest sense, never finished, never complacent. There is no ego in her learning. She does not study to prove she is right, but to grow more aware. Through these daily habits of learning and reflection, her mind becomes steady, adaptable, and clear. And in that clarity, she finds not just knowledge, but freedom. She frees herself from old beliefs, from limiting stories, from reactive thinking. Heng reminds us that wisdom is the fruit of consistent cultivation. This woman lives that truth, not just through what she reads, but through the way she listens, thinks, and evolves. Her intelligence is not a performance. It is a quiet, ongoing transformation, and it shows in how she moves through the world, with grace, insight, and integrity. A highly intelligent woman understands that words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every word she speaks has the power to nurture understanding or to sow discord. This is why she is mindful of her speech. She does not allow her mouth to run ahead of her awareness. She does not speak simply to fill silence or to gain approval. Heng often reminds us that the quality of our speech reflects the clarity of our mind. If the mind is crowded with anxiety, comparison, and judgment, it will inevitably show itself in careless words. This woman takes time to pause before she speaks. This small space, a breath, a moment of reflection, is her way of honoring herself and those around her. She listens carefully, not only to the content of what others say, but also to the emotion beneath it. In this way, she can respond rather than react. She has no desire to dominate conversations or to prove her superiority. Her intelligence expresses itself through her capacity to hold space for others without losing her own center. She avoids gossip, not because she believes she is above it, but because she knows that gossip is a subtle poison. It weakens integrity. It creates false closeness through shared judgment rather than genuine understanding. Each time a person engages in gossip, they reinforce a habit of looking outward to criticize instead of inward to grow. Heng teaches that what we say about others is often a projection of what we have not resolved within ourselves. This woman understands this, and so she practices restraint. She also recognizes the importance of clarity. When she speaks, she does so with precision. She does not rely on vague insinuations or half-truths. Her words are simple, direct, and kind. She has no need to impress through complexity or to manipulate through ambiguity. Her clarity is an expression of her respect for herself, for the listener, and for the truth. In moments of conflict, she does not raise her voice. She raises the quality of her listening. She studies what is being said without immediately planning her defense. She has learned that many arguments are not truly about the issue at hand, but about unmet needs and unspoken fears. By listening with presence, she often dissolves tension before it takes root. This capacity to stay calm does not mean she is passive. It means she has trained herself not to be a slave to her first impulse. Heng often says that true strength is revealed in the spaces where it would be easiest to react. This woman embodies that strength. When she feels anger, she does not deny it, but she does not allow it to shape her speech unconsciously. She acknowledges it, studies it, and then chooses her words with care. In this way, her communication becomes a reflection of her self-mastery. Her discipline with language extends to how she speaks to herself. She does not indulge in cruel self-criticism or labels that shrink her. She uses language that encourages growth, that honors her efforts, that acknowledges her humanity. Over time, this habit transforms not only how she feels about herself, but also how she moves through the world. In daily life, she leaves space for silence. She does not fear it. She understands that silence is often the most sincere form of respect, and it allows deeper truths to emerge. While others rush to fill every pause, she is comfortable waiting. This stillness gives her a certain gravitas that people can feel even when she says little. Heng reminds us that mastery is not only about what you can do, but also about what you choose not to do. This woman has chosen not to waste her energy on empty talk or destructive words. Through her careful speech, she demonstrates that intelligence is not merely a function of the mind, but an expression of the heart. It is revealed in the gentleness and clarity with which she shares herself with the world. A highly intelligent woman does not expect life to unfold without challenge. She knows that difficulty is not a sign that she is failing, but an inevitable part of any meaningful path. Heng teaches that the nature of life itself is change, and where there is change, there will be friction. This friction is neither an enemy nor a punishment. It is simply an invitation to grow. When she encounters obstacles, her first response is not to panic or complain. Instead, She studies what is before her as if it were a teacher. She has trained herself to pause before she reacts, to take a breath and see the situation as it is, without the coloring of her fears or assumptions. This does not mean she feels no emotion. She feels fully, but she has learned not to let those emotions determine her next step without reflection. In moments of pressure, she reminds herself that her perspective is always limited. She asks what else might be true here, what am I not seeing? This questioning allows her to loosen the grip of a fixed mindset and to find options where others see none. Heng often says that when you change the way you look at something, the thing itself begins to change. This woman lives this truth. Her composure is not an accident. It is the result of many small decisions to meet discomfort with curiosity. While others see problems as proof that life is unfair, she sees them as opportunities to test her resilience. Even in situations she cannot control, she looks for the lesson hidden beneath the surface. For example, if she faces criticism, she does not immediately defend herself. She listens to see if there is any truth she can use to improve. If she discovers that the criticism is simply an expression of someone else's pain, she does not take it personally. This discernment allows her to stay steady while others become entangled in reaction. When circumstances feel overwhelming, she simplifies. She breaks big challenges into smaller steps. She focuses on what she can influence rather than fixating on what she cannot. This practice prevents her from being paralyzed by the illusion that everything must be solved at once. Heng teaches that progress is often the result of small, consistent actions rather than grand gestures. By taking one clear step at a time, she builds momentum and confidence. She also knows that composure is not the same as suppression. She does not pretend she has no struggle or disappointment. She acknowledges her feelings honestly. She allows herself to grieve when necessary, to rest when exhausted. But she does not confuse rest with quitting. Once she has honored her emotions, she returns to her path with renewed clarity. Another habit that supports her calm is her practice of self-reflection. She sets aside time to review her day and to notice where she remained centered and where she was pulled off balance. This honest inventory is not a way to judge herself, but to learn. Over time, it creates a map of her tendencies and reveals patterns she can transform. Heng often reminds us that the greatest obstacles are not outside us, but within. They are the habits of mind that tell us we are not capable, not worthy, or not ready. This woman has chosen to meet those inner obstacles with the same patience she brings to external ones. She does not fight herself. She studies herself with a spirit of respect and compassion. Through this commitment to composure and clear seeing, she becomes a steady presence for others as well. In her calm, they find reassurance. In her example, they see what is possible when you stop running from discomfort and start learning from it. In this way, she demonstrates that intelligence is not measured only by what you know, but by how you respond when life does not go according to plan. A highly intelligent woman does not measure her life only by what she achieves or how others perceive her. She understands that the real wealth of a human life is gratitude. Heng often reminds us that gratitude is not a passive feeling that happens when everything is perfect. It is a discipline, a way of relating to each moment with respect and openness. Each day, she makes time to remember what is good and what is working. Even on the most difficult days, she does not allow her attention to be consumed by what is lacking. She acknowledges the challenges fully, but she also looks for the small blessings that remain, the breath in her lungs, the lessons she has learned, the people who walk beside her. This practice is not sentimental or naive. It is a conscious choice to honor life rather than to resent it. When she wakes in the morning, she does not immediately rush into plans or distractions. She pauses and gives thanks for the chance to begin again. She knows that not everyone was granted this same opportunity. She feels gratitude for her body and its ability to carry her through the day. She feels gratitude for her mind and its ability to reflect and grow. In this way, she begins her day anchored in appreciation rather than scarcity. Heng teaches that gratitude is a form of inner nourishment. It strengthens the mind against the habits of complaint and self-pity. This woman has learned that even the most intelligent thoughts can become bitter if they are not balanced by humility and wonder. Gratitude keeps her connected to a sense of belonging and purpose. Throughout her day, she notices what is often overlooked. The softness of morning light, the warmth of a shared smile, the quiet moments when her mind grows still. She collects these small experiences like precious stones, and when doubt or fear arises, she recalls them to steady her heart. This is her way of remembering that life has never been only difficulty. It has also been beauty, connection, and grace. Her gratitude is also expressed in how she treats others. She does not take kindness for granted. She acknowledges support when it is offered. She expresses appreciation without hesitation, knowing that sincere recognition uplifts not only the one who receives it, but also the one who gives it. Heng often says that appreciation is a bridge between people. It dissolves separation and builds trust. When she encounters setbacks, she does not allow them to erase her sense of thankfulness. She can feel frustration and still remember all she has been given. This does not mean she denies reality or suppresses her needs. It means she refuses to let pain blind her to everything that is still worthy of gratitude. Over time, this attitude becomes a source of resilience. Where others see only loss, she also sees possibility. In her private moments, she often reflects on how far she has come. She honors the version of herself who struggled, who doubted, who kept moving forward anyway. This gratitude for her own effort nourishes her confidence. She no longer waits for external validation. She knows that her path has value because she has walked it with sincerity. Heng reminds us that a mind trained in gratitude is a mind prepared for any circumstance. This woman embodies that teaching. Whether she is celebrating or enduring, she carries a quiet appreciation that no circumstance can take from her. Her intelligence is not simply the power to analyze, but also the wisdom to see the hidden gifts in every experience. By practicing gratitude daily, she transforms ordinary life into something sacred. This is why her presence feels calm and grounded. She has chosen to look at the world not only for what it lacks, but also for all it continues to offer. In this way, she demonstrates that the most intelligent life is not the one that accumulates the most, but the one that remembers to give thanks for what it has. The habits of a highly intelligent woman are not built in a single day, nor are they maintained through occasional effort. They are the result of her willingness to meet each moment with intention, humility, and discipline. She does not measure her worth by comparison or by the opinions of those who watch from the outside. Instead, she shapes her life by the quiet choices she repeats, rising with purpose, feeding her mind with reflection, speaking with care, facing challenges with composure, and honoring each day with gratitude. Over time, these habits become her character, and her character becomes her legacy. In this way, she shows that intelligence is not merely a matter of what you know, but how you choose to live. Through her example, it becomes clear that a mind guided by wisdom and a heart anchored in sincerity can create a life of depth, balance, and quiet strength.